Warrior, let's start out with happy, happy new year. Let this be the beginning of a wonderful new year. And we at the Warriors wish all of you, great health, happiness, love, community. And we're going to start. We are going to start right now. We're hardcore at the Warriors. We're going to go right into January, January 1. The month of January is National Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month. And for 31 days, we're going to have activities. We are going to take actions. We are going to provide resources for you in your communities. You can't just talk about raising awareness and human trafficking is bad. We know this, right? We know this. What are we all going to do about it? Our work at the Warriors, we make inroads. Our goal is, if we affect change, we help one person, one child, one family a day, we have done our jobs, because the big picture is so overwhelming. And in these 6+ years we've been doing this officially, we're all about reality and truth on the Warriors. It has been escalating despite all the awareness, despite more people getting involved, organizations, individuals, despite talking about it. Why is this happening? Why, in my opinion, is it becoming the norm that people have become habituated and it's normalized, this abuse of children? Now, look, human trafficking is comprised of labor trafficking and sex trafficking. There's also all kinds of other things, forced servitude, surrogacy trafficking. There's so much going on. We have to really sit down, talk about this, and take action in our own, with ourselves, with our kids, with our grandkids, and our communities. So bringing this awareness during the month of January, we also have to talk about, you can't talk about any of this. We've got this component of the internet. Now, we're not against any kind of technology here at the Warriors. We love it. We're using it right now to talk to you across the world. This is the way we communicate. But we do have to talk about guardrails for kids, bringing kids into the fold from the get-go, holding these big tech companies accountable, making, who knows, untold amounts of money off the backs of our kids and off of us, and getting away with it. How are we going to start preventing that? We all have to speak up and speak out. That is my ask for the month of January, that you become involved. You start educating yourself. You start talking to your kids open and honestly. Because there are so many stories we wake up to every day of children harming themselves. How about the girl 17 in Texas who was searching for something in the back of her car Christmas Eve? That she was on a Ring doorbell. That's how we know this. Walked away. They saw her, they believe, walking along a road. Next thing, they find her in a field, very close to her backyard. What was she suffering from? By all accounts, she was a great daughter. She was a good student. She had a lot of friends. Our kids are suffering. I always like to say, our future American adults and leaders, what are we doing to them? So we've got to really, take this, by the horns, so to speak, and we are doing everything at the Warriors we can do to raise awareness, to educate. Coming up in a couple of days, we have an interview with a mom. There is a terrific new group called Parents Rise. These are parents from across the United States who have come together. I have been with them in Washington. They are really getting out there. I've been with them here in New York, speaking about the tragedies that they themselves, their beloved children, how they've faced this. Because most people, and we're a family show, so I don't use certain words. I think you know that by now. Algorithms. We're always talking about the algorithms, right? They have to share their stories. They want to warn other parents and family members what goes on. They feel they have a duty, and they've come together collectively. My heart breaks for these parents, because when we're with them, there is nothing other than lending support, putting a hand on a shoulder, hearing them talk, listening. Remember, listening is a lost art. Listen. What can you do but be there for them? And it's the same thing with our kids right now. We got to be there with them. We've got to hear them and listen to them. I saw a map fairly recently in Washington at one of our meetings, and it was the map of the United States. And the map basically had red dots over the entire United States. And in this meeting, it was pointed out, and a shout out, because the work was done by the Tim Tebow Foundation. So let me give them a shout out, Camille Cooper. And the map, each dot, which you can barely see because all the dots blended into one, and I want to post that map. I will do that on our X, on our Facebook. I'm going to put it on all the platforms because people are visual, right? You really react when you see something visually. That every dot represented a unique IP address, so a computer address, for that address sharing CSAM, child sexual abuse material. Now, I just told you the map looked like just a red map because there were so many dots. It just looked like one big red. And that map is from just 6 months, okay? So again, this abuse of our children is spreading, escalating. I can barely get the words out. Being normalized. People have become habituated. They're being fed a lot of content from big tech because, again, there's no accountability with big tech. We're working very hard. We've got Kids Online Safety Act. We have the Section 230, Sunset Section 230 Act going on. I won't bore you right now with all of that, but I need all of you in the month of January 2026. We cannot allow this to go on, okay? Pointing out that the abuse is rampant in homes themselves. The abuse is rampant from strangers. The abuse is rampant online. When I tell you that, 1 in 4 kids are approached online with sexual dialogue, images, come meet me, and of that percentage, it's a little, wishy-washy because studies are behind always with all of this. And also, a lot of this exploitation goes unreported, right? This abuse goes unreported. But what we have right now, if about 25%, and I dare say it's higher, because we talk to kids and families all the time being approached online, but almost half, we know it's 40-something%, will attempt to go out and meet that stranger in real time. This is unacceptable. So I wonder about this beautiful 17-year-old teen on Christmas Eve, going out at night, by all accounts, close with her mother, living with her mother. Did she meet somebody online? Was she going to meet them? We have so many stories like that. And you don't hear them on the cable news for the most part. How about all the vulnerable kids you never hear about, that we work with behind the scenes? There's so much need. So I'm asking all of you, please follow lynswarriors.org. Please step up in your own home. Talk to your kids open and honestly. Be careful yourself because the predation is all around. And again, I'm going to provide that map because it's so shocking to see that this child sexual abuse material is allowed to flourish and more people getting involved. Because remember, when there's no accountability and there's money to be made, what's the bottom line for all of this? A lot of groups exchanging images, money. It's got to stop. And with that, I ask all of you to keep your eyes and your ears open. If you see something, hear something, know of something, always, we need a chain of recording. That would be called 911. There's also cybertipline.org you can contact. And don't worry about being wrong. You make the report and they'll take it over for you. Because we also, something we don't talk about is we have a lot of this abuse and trafficking coming directly out of families, right? Familial trafficking, something very few talk about. We actually have more familial trafficking in the state of New York, where I live, than we know about trafficking from strangers. So we have family members selling off their kids, their wives, their sisters, their brothers. So how, when, where is it going to stop? Follow along. Let's make January. Let's go into this new year strong. Commit it. Dedicate it. We can't talk about any of this. Let's take up the mantle for online safety, knowing what the kids are doing online. If you bought a device for the holiday season, and many of you did, talking to your child, making sure you have turned off, messaging, location sharing, all of that. Let's know who the kids are talking to. It should be family members and friends that you know about. And let's get this going because we can't continue at this rate. At this rate, we will not have many healthy adults, future leaders of the United States. And I know we all want that. Community Creates Change is our hashtag. Honor it. Join us. Follow lynswarriors.org. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Pick up these nuggets of information and leverage your platforms for good. January 2026 is National Human Trafficking Awareness and Prevention Month. Let's come together. Let's make it happen. Let's create positivity in the communities. And each and every day when you wake up, go out and be a warrior.